Very, very warm. Good morning from Germany. It's just before 11 o'clock here and around 2:21 p.m. in India. Good afternoon, everybody. Odd timing because it's a special occasion today. Why I am doing a live at this time? Because it's the draw for the groups for next year's AFC Women's Asian Cup in Australia. And yes, we are all looking forward to that draw and hoping to see who our Indian women's national football team could be facing. So therefore looking forward to that one. And therefore everyone, let's hope whoever we get will be very interesting to see. To me, I'm really looking forward to that. And as always, as I love to say, like, share, and subscribe arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias, visit arunfoot.com, and thank you as always for your support. And I've pinned the video that I made on who I thought would be sort of the easiest and toughest potential opponents for India in a potential group stage. To me, as I say in the video, watch the video if you want. It will be there, afterwards as well. To me, very, very clear is that if I look at the groups, if I look at who we can, could, should, would need to face, then to me it's very, very clear that North Korea, Japan, the toughest potential opponents in my opinion on one side. If I look at on the other side and easier ones, host Australia, sounds weird, huh? Pot one. China, South Korea look very, very tough to me, and Vietnam the easiest in regard to pot two. And then if I look at pot three, we've got Philippines, Chinese Taipei, and Uzbekistan. Ranking wise, Uzbekistan look like the easiest potential opponent for us. So therefore, these are small little things that I'm looking at, and therefore, it's going to be very interesting to see how we sort of handle the situation and what happens for us, in my opinion. And therefore, for me, very, very clear. If I look at it at this moment in time, then it is going to be the fact that any team that we will face will be tough for us. In our pot four, we have Iran and Bangladesh. Bangladesh, the worst ranked team in the qualifiers. But if I look at even Bangladesh has been giving us troubles in the competitions in the SAF region. So therefore, for me, it's a big ask. Let me know what you guys think, who we could, who we should, who we need to face, because I know that there is this hope, this wish, this dream of us qualifying for the World Cup. And if we want to qualify for the World Cup, then for us, it'll be very, very important to see how we can compete in this competition. At least with the pot three teams, we need to at least win one game to get into the top eight. And if we get into the top eight, then potentially there is a path to the World Cup via the intercontinental qualifiers. So therefore, that is the one where I say, is it really possible? Is it doable for us? And therefore, for me, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Bishwajit, it's supposed to start in about 5 minutes, and to me, that's going to be very, very important to see, what happens or what doesn't happen. The final draw will start in about 5 minutes in Sydney. And therefore for me, very, very important to see who we face in the AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 to be held next year in March. So how to go to Europe and succeed there. Kalpana, from a study perspective, from a football perspective, from a coaching perspective, if you could let me know what you want, then I maybe I'll be able to give you a better answer to that. So therefore, yeah, the draw, I'm excited. I don't know how excited you guys are. I am excited, at least to say that I'm looking forward to this draw and seeing who we could face, and then see how we do. Hi Pratik, I am fine. Hope you're doing good as well. Good to see you back. So that's the point. So I have one child of 1 year. She's a girl. I want to make her a footballer. Kalpana, at 1 year, of course, that's very, very early. I don't know what your job is, or what your husband's job is. I think at that age, maybe the best option would be if you guys can try and get into Europe, and move to Europe. Doesn't matter where, so to say. And when she's 3, 4, enroll her into one of those baby programs, and we in Germany call it Bambini program. So maybe that, in my opinion, is very, very important. So that would be my piece of advice to you, to start with your daughter. Draw, very excited. Hope we get a favorable draw. XYZ, there is no favorable draw, in my opinion, if I'm very, very honest. If I look at Group 1, Group 2, then to me, there is no favorable draw to us. This is going to be tough as anything. So for us, the challenge, in my opinion, will be to see how we can, try and do something and sort of stay alive. To me, the draw is going to be very, 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 very tough, and therefore, Group A, Group 1, Pot 1, and Pot 2 are very difficult for us, and therefore for me, it is just important. We're there. We will play. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm not getting carried away by anything. Let's see what the groups turn out to be, and then we can have a discussion about who is a potential opponent for us or not an opponent for us, and how can we play against them, yes or no, because this is going to be tough. This is a level that we normally don't play. Let's be very honest about that. But I look forward to that fact that we will play at that level. That is where we need to test ourselves, so let's see. Pot 1 and 2, the only team we can seems to be Vietnam. XYZ, honestly, Vietnam, no, and therefore for me, let's wait and see what happens. Pot 1 and 2 are way too strong, in my opinion, way too strong. That's why even talking about the fact that we think that we can compete with those teams, I don't think makes sense. Makes we have to be realistic on that front. Either we or Bangladesh surely going to make to World Cup. Vishwajit, are you sure? Both the teams are in Pot 3. Are you sure that we will overcome the teams who are in Pot 1 and Pot 2? That would be my simple question to you or anyone, right? Is can we compete with the teams that are better than us in the draw, right? So for me, that's going to be the huge question, and therefore for me, if I look at it, 1 second, let me just get the. Let me just try and get something online so that we can talk about it. So that's why Are you keeping up with Minerva's trip to Europe? They won't go to Andana Cup. I can't bring Novika. We follow Minerva's trip. I think people are telling me to follow it, and I'm indirectly following it, but I'm not really convinced this is the best way of doing it. I've said it a few times to people that to me it would be more sense to come to Europe, to go into a country and actually play friendly matches against teams rather than these kind of tournaments. If you're beating teams 20-0 something, you're playing grassroots teams, you're not playing serious teams. Has no value for these kids and for Indian football. Either Bangladesh makes through or India, or both get eliminated. Exactly, that's my point. For me, that's why I'm saying, it is not so easy to say, so let's see. what's going to happen. So therefore here once more the pots, if you want to see them, right? So therefore once more here the pots. Pot 1 is Australia, Japan, DPR, Korea, North Korea. Pot 2, China, Korea Republic or South Korea, Vietnam in pot 2. Pot 3 contains Philippines, Chinese Taipei, Uzbekistan, while Iran, India, and Bangladesh make up pot 4. So that's the mix of where we are at this moment in time. And for me, I said pot 1, let's not even think about it. On a bad day, double-digit losses possible. Let's be honest about that. On a bad day, on a good day, maybe we can, keep the defeat looking nice. Pot 2, China, South Korea, way too strong. Vietnam, I'm not sure if we can really compete with Vietnam. And pot 3, even Philippines, look at how many players of origin they are including. And the show is about to start in Sydney. It will be sad if we get eliminated in the first game or first 2 games. Hope we can hang on longer in Asia Cup. XYZ, the problem is we're going to pay pot 1, pot 2, pot 3 teams. And therefore, let's see. Iran is higher ranked than us on our women. Last time we played them, actually dominated. Iran women's team have come a long way. XYZ, with 2022, you're talking about, as the show started, just listening a little bit to it on the side. And to me, Iran has developed a lot, but they're still at the start of their, development process. And for me, if you ask me, that's the problem. Huh? India, Uzbekistan used to be someone that we could be taking on. But if you look at our matches in May as preparations for the qualifiers, we didn't do too well. Pot 3, weakest opponent. Ranking-wise, it has to be Vishwajit. If I look at the pot 3, if you look at the names over here, Philippines, Chinese Taipei, Uzbekistan, it is name-wise Uzbekistan. Is it really Uzbekistan or is it rather Chinese Taipei? Again, we go by rankings, then we would say then it's Uzbekistan. But and Philippines has integrated a lot of players of origin from across Europe and North America. So therefore, I think Philippines also is rather a better team than that. So therefore, this is a part of the reality. So I hope, we can do something and get away with it. But if I'm being very honest with you all, then my so therefore we'll have to wait and see what actually factually happens. Last time, Brunei's won in Ryan's Cup matches against good English clubs, right? Was that formidable against good clubs as compared to Minerva lower teams wins? Adi, today I don't want to really talk about who we played in the men's game or didn't. Let's focus on the Asian Women's Cup and the AFC Women's Asian Cup, because that's the topic. We speak a lot about the men's game. Let's keep it to a general discussion on another day, because all these wins, again, what the value is, what the value isn't, is a different discussion. It has no value at the end of the day. So let's let me keep it at that, because the end result is that those Premier League boys go on to play Premier League and our boys go on to play not even ISL level. So that's the reality of the thing. So let's focus on the draw ceremony, which is starting with the presenter now coming on stage, with the organizing committee chair having to set something. Japan, China, Philippines, the worst we can get. The unknown, yes. Japan or North Korea, but China and Philippines, yes, that's the worst combo. Japan or North Korea, and and therefore. That's the last. Oh, of course I did do live. Trinawala. Just check. I did. I've been doing lives over the last 2 days. So I don't know if you didn't get an alert or something. Just check. Always I say in the afternoon if I put out something, or even early evening if I put out something and saying, there will be a live at later on in the day. And therefore for me, and therefore please just check. I don't know, sometimes you don't get the alerts. I don't know why from YouTube, but yeah, please check if I'm doing a live or not, and then join in. Then I think I'm not getting notified. Yeah, I'm just saying, that's why I check. I try and put out things a little earlier whenever I know I can do a live, that I am doing a live as I can. And so we are in the MC has just presented or welcomed the distinguished guests, and now the head of the AFC Women's Committee is going to address the gathering. Of course, you know, the formal part of this. It's very, very important. Kanya Keomani, chairperson of the AFC Women's Football Committee. So it's very, very important, you know, that this process that is there, you know, it's taken care of, and therefore, yeah, let's wait and see what happens, and therefore for me it's very, very important to see. Again, this is the formal part where the conversations happen, and some would say a little blah blah happens at the start, but it's very, very important, you know, and therefore let's wait and see what happens. And yeah, China won the last AFC, I think, beating Korea support 2-0. Yes, they did. In India, if we do remember, they won it in India, the COVID enforced competition. So therefore, yeah. And once more, reminder that the tournament will be held in March 2026, 1st to 21st, with matches to be played in Sydney, Perth, and the Gold Coast. And yeah, venues which hosted the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. And China, South Korea, and Japan qualified as the top 3 teams from the last Asian Cup in India. And yeah, so therefore it will be interesting to see. Once more, you can see the pots here on my screen. Pot 1 has Australia, Japan, North Korea, Australia in it because they are the hosts. Pot 2 contains China, South Korea, Vietnam. Pot 3 contains the Philippines, Chinese Taipei, and Uzbekistan, while Pot 4 contains Iran, India, and Bangladesh. So therefore, yeah, interesting combination. So we'll have to wait and see what really what group comes out for us. Looks tough for us, as I have said, and but to me, you know, let's hope for the best, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. The difference between pots and women's game is massive. Yes, XYZ, it is massive. I said in the last 2-3 days in my lives that if you compare, for example, India beating Mongolia 13-0, the gap between Mongolia and India is the gap between pot 4 and pot 1. On a bad day, you can lose. If you look at the AFC Women's Champions League, Odisha FC lost 17-0 to Japan's Urawa Red Diamonds ladies. So therefore for me, sorry, she's just talking. So therefore for me, that is a reality which I think we need to accept. I think the biggest thing for us at this moment in time is, I would say again and again and again and again, that our women are in this tournament. I think that's the first priority, in my opinion, that the women have really made it, and we're in this tournament. Very, very important that we've qualified for the first time ever in the history of Indian football. So far, we've always been an invitee or have been a host. So from that perspective, I think it's very, very important for Indian women's football. We are there amongst the best 12 nations in Asia. Can we be amongst the top 8 to be able to to be able to get into the World Cup playoffs. So therefore, for me, very, very crucial, very, very key. So therefore, that's the thing. Pot first and second pot is very much equal. I wouldn't say that fully, because I have to also remember Vietnam is in pot 2. Vietnam is sort of weakest. I would say the top 5 in Asia are of a similar level, and and therefore that needs to be remembered. China, who has won most Asian Cup, gets badly beaten in World Cup group stages. Meanwhile, Australia and Japan and even South Korea make deep runs. China doesn't. XYZ, that's the current status, but China has reached a World Cup final in the past. So don't forget that. So China has had its ups and downs. They are, so that's the important thing. And therefore, China is, I was talking about the men's Asian Cup. You see a lot of teams who do well in the men's AFC Asian Cup who actually don't do well in a World Cup. So don't know what the reason would be, but that's it. Lots of yapping happening. Hannibal, it is very important. This is a big event for Australia. This is a big event for Sydney, Perth, and the West Coast. It is a big event for the local organizing committee, so therefore, that is something. That's something which is important, and let's wait and see what happens. Great to see all of that. So now, can you talk about your thoughts on Harshika Jain going to win a top division? Could listen to answer in last live. Good for her. Someone who's played college and then for Gokulam Kerala, and let's see what she can do over there. I think every move to Europe is good. What I said is that it seems to be women are preferring Eastern Europe than Western Europe, because the quality is not that high. If you look at Manisha going to Cyprus and then now in Greece, some of the players who went to Dinamo Zagreb, and now Harshika joining a club in Romania. North Korea, Vietnam, Chinese Taipei, India. Oh, that would be tough. Yeah. So that's the thing. Access, I'd like the Aussies from pot 1. The Matilda fans fill the stadiums up. Yeah, that's going to be sure. Our ideal group, I know every group is difficult, or what will be relatively easiest? Easiest, I think Australia, Vietnam, Uzbekistan. That would be my, in theory, easiest group. Is it going to be the easiest? That's a different question, but I think that is something which I would say, if you ask me, would be the easiest group on paper, right? If we talk about the size of groups, size of strength of the teams of the opponents in the respective groups. Worst to me is North Korea, China, Philippines. That would be the toughest. China won AFC 9 times and the most successful team, yes. Now, don't you think Australia will be as tough as Japan? I think it will be tougher because they are very much taller than our girls. I don't think so. Why would they be as tough as Japan? Why is height a factor for you? Right? The Japanese will run you dead. And Urawa Red Diamonds beating Odisha 17-0, I think should be a warning in itself. What the Japanese, and Australia is not as good as Japan or as North Korea. So therefore, for me, Australia is, you talk about height in women's football, I think is not as much of a topic as it is in the men's game, most probably. Every team is tough, and every team in pot 1 is capable of scoring 10 or more goals against us. Let me be very frank to you guys. That is the reality. On a good day, we might keep them down. But the difference of standard, where we stand, we are here and they are somewhere, I can't even show it to you on the screen. So why do we talk about the height factor? Let's talk about the quality factor. The Japanese, the North Koreans, even the Chinese and the South Koreans will run circles around us, right? And that is that we don't have that physical fitness to be able to run against them 90 minutes. Taipei more difficult than Uzbek? I think so, Pranjal. Uzbekistan is someone that we've played recently. We lost both matches 1-0. Yes, that's also very, very true. But Uzbekistan is someone that we can physically cope with, in the sense of we can play football again, and therefore for me, yeah, that's the reality. My friend says Sam Kerr is an Indian origin player. Is that true? Yes, Sam Kerr is has Indian slash Bengali links from Kolkata. Yeah, but in Australia, Women's World Cup, Australia was going toe-to-toe with the best women's team around the world, almost made a comeback in XYZ, different tournaments, different competitions. Why always these cross comparisons? Someone just compared the Chinese and said this and this about China. And China, hasn't been doing well in the World Cup, but are the best team when it comes to in the Asian Cup, right? So therefore, that needs to be remembered as well. Yeah, right. Okay, now a little bit of a show element, sort of an Aboriginal dance or something of that sort. So therefore, for me, Japan, North Korea, way, way stronger. And I think also, don't forget Australia. If we play Australia, we'll play them in the opening game. There would be certain pressure on them. And those are small little factors which I personally feel could be potentially helpful to us. If Australia is drawn to us, hope she shows some mercy. No one will show mercy on us. It doesn't matter who we play. This is, we are no longer, we've sort of phased out our experienced players in Aditi Chauhan. Aditi is just retired. Dalimar Chibber, Ashalata Devi, and Bala Devi. So now the younger ones have to show. So therefore, for me, this younger team has to show what they can do, and they will have to work especially on their physicality, on their fitness, so therefore that's something. I think pot 3 will be deciding factor. Pot 1 doesn't matter at all. We will lose that match anyway. Hopefully Vietnam from pot 2. Yeah, Pranjal, that's if you want to sum it up, but it could come down to goal difference. So therefore, you can't lose too heavily against the pot 1 and pot 2 teams. So therefore, that is something which we need to come down to. We are here to win should be the mentality. The Euros made me change my thinking from we are here to compete. Angry Birds, you are comparing two totally different standards. That comparison, in my opinion, so therefore for me, it's something that doesn't come to my mind. Sorry, right? The Euros, the level was somewhat similar, even though you saw some of the quite differences, and therefore, yeah. Shongita Bashwa has got a good feature in scoring bangers from outside the box. Yeah, true, but is she gonna get in those positions in these games? No. Do you think we'll be able to score a goal, or will it be like the men's situation where we'll struggle badly? If you ask me at this moment in time, if I look at the Thailand game as being our benchmark, we will struggle badly. Yeah. And we will struggle worse than the men's team. Let's be honest about that. We hope we can get the best group, but if not, we will play the best teams. Yeah. Unknown. We will have to play whoever comes, right? It doesn't matter if I like team A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then we will have to play whoever we are facing. And it doesn't matter if we're facing the best or if we're facing the worst. All the 9 teams that we potentially could face from the pots are better than us. I forget the 9 pots. If I take even Iran and Bangladesh into the mix, there is no team in this competition that India will have to face, who is worse than us. Even Bangladesh has beaten us in the recent past. So therefore, for me, that's the reality, right? So therefore, that's what we need to remember. Best case, we get to Olympic qualifiers and World Cup intercontinental playoffs, but I do not. But I do dearly want us to finish top 6 for the direct qualification. Yeah, as you say, best, worst case, 4th with no goal, right? So therefore, it is possible, but I'm not getting carried away by anything, right? I am keeping my hopes at a low level, let's put it this way. Because if I take it to a higher level, then I'll be worried and you know, and yeah, right. So we're getting closer to the draw. It's been already 22 minutes into the show. So now they're presenting the 3 venues, starting off in Perth. And this is the closer we've been to a World Cup. Hope our girls give everything in the field. Best believe the crowd will be there to make it sound like a home game. XYZ, we were closer in 2022. This is also a misconception. We were closer in 2022 to the World Cup. No, we drew Iran 1-1, and then if we'd gotten something out of the next game, we could have finished, right? We could have gotten so therefore, this last time around the opportunities were bigger than they are this time around. So let's be very, very clear about that. That's yeah. So that's something which I see. So now, after having shown features of Perth, now they're showing Sydney with, of course, the opera, the bridge, and the mountains in the background. Now showing the venues of the tournament, showing footage from the qualifiers. And also footage from the last tournament in India. Now the Gold Coast is being shown. Yeah, footage from China lifting the trophy in India last time around. Do you think there will be an upset in this Asian Cup like Philippines beating Deepak Korea, South Korea? XYZ, let's see what the groups are. No? Let's see what the groups are, and then we will figure out what kind of upsets are possible. Australia, Vietnam, Uzbekistan, India's best chance. Yes, Ashush, that's also my thought. Now the draw process is being explained. So it's just being explained that how the draw mechanism works. Australia as the hosts are in pot 1. And the 12 teams will be divided into 3 groups. we activated the new hype feature just introduced by YouTube. It helps countries or whatever. I think I have activated it, XYZ, but again, you guys have to tell me if you see the hype feature or not. So therefore, yeah. So, but I as far as I know, the hype feature is activated automatically by the system. Yeah, but we lost both games. XYZ, but that's the weakest team in Group Pot 3. So that's also reality, right? I cannot see. Okay. I can't activate it. I've checked it back end of the system because someone was asking me the other day. So therefore, let's see. So the process is still being explained. Let me ask you, sorry, has it you have, okay, I will ask Hiren about that. Thanks, XYZ. So now they're explaining how they're going to get those 4 pots. So they're explaining the draw mechanism still. Okay, so India might not have to be in A4, A1, A2, A3, A4. So therefore, they will see how they will decide. So it doesn't mean if you're in pot 4 that you'll be assigned A4, B4, or C4. Therefore, we'll have to wait and see. So therefore, the process has now been explained, and now we come to the most interesting part of the evening in Sydney. So now they're presenting the unknown. This is how you do the draw ceremonies. If you see how the FIFA events do it, no, it's a 1 hour, 1.5 hour show. This is not a qualifier draw or a small little draw for a Asian Youth Cup or something, So therefore, these are big shows. I expect this at least to go on. So that's why. Let's see. Sorry. Sangeeta will need a translator. So that's not nice to say, And Sangeeta's coming forward. Really good moment for Indian football to see Sangeeta come forward, nicely dressed, white sneakers. See, she's speaking in English. See, so I said, you guys make assumptions of knowing things and all. How many times am I going to say that? Right? So the so therefore now one by one being presented. Yeah, but it sounds like it, Ixos. To me, at least, it sounds like the way you worded it to me is disrespecting someone, right? And this is, and I've said this, I call it out whenever someone does that, in my opinion. See, and the Korean, actually, her English is worse than Sangeeta. So yeah, no, I don't need to chill out. If you're gonna talk like that, yeah. So we're getting ready of the draw. Now the competitions director, or AFC competitions director. So they're talking about the draw and hoping for some upsets because, again, one of the upsets is that India is part of the draw, that India got past Thailand. So therefore, we are looking forward to that part. Let's see. So now calling out that the trophy is going to be brought on stage by China. And it's being put on to a platform. Lovely to see. She was speaking Hindi. Most of her girls come from her background. That's why I thought she might need one here because it was the stage pressure. Also, see, I was thinking. See, this is what you were thinking. You don't know. I don't know. Right? Just let it happen. Why always there needs to be a comment on something? Right? You didn't. I'm not saying you did it in bad taste or whatever. What I'm saying is what you said to me is disrespectful in a way, and you're saying, "Oh, you know better, or I know better than something than these people who are there." So therefore, sometimes keep your comments to yourself. Hi, Dark Knight, welcome. So now we're starting with the draw procedure. So now we come to the main part of this whole discussion. So now they're going to introduce the teams from each pot. They start with pot 4. Start, of course, with Iran. We've had Jordan and Bhutan, amongst other things, in that qualification group. And then India. That 13-0 against Mongolia being shown goals. Goals against Iraq. And then Bangladesh was surprised Myanmar to get to this stage, to make it to the tournament. And now so Sangeeta is going to pull out the first team from pot 4. So Sangeeta hopefully has a good hand for India. Islamic Republic of Iran is the first team to be pulled out of pot 4. And they could be drawn in group A, B, or C. If I understood right, or is it done? Sorry, they will be in group A. Sorry, the team is going to be in group A. That means that India will not face Australia. So this is already clear. India will be facing, if I've understood this right, either Japan or North Korea. So Iran have been drawn in position A3. Yeah, Japan or North Korea, XYZ. And the second country she pulls out, it looks to me like, is it? No, it's Bangladesh. Bangladesh will be in group B. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be B2, B3, or B4. So Bangladesh in group B. So India will be in group C. So that's clear. Let's see where Bangladesh will be drawn. B2, B3, B4. It's B3. So India will be in pot 4 and will be drawn in group C. So let's see if Sangeeta pulls out India. Or should be pulling out India. Otherwise, there's something wrong with the draw. India. Crispin Chetri in the crowd. Good to see Crispin over there. And the smile of Crispin. Good to see. It's deserving, Crispin. So will it be C2, C3, C4? Interesting to see. C3. Interesting. All pot 4 teams have been drawn in the third position. So that's actually not bad, because that means, let me check the draw formalities. So India would be in pot C2. So they will be opening against whoever plays C2. Then play the strongest team in their second match, and then will play someone in C4. So, okay. So good one is we're not in C4, which would have meant that you would have faced the strongest team in your first game. But India at the moment in Group C, and they will, that means that we will either face Japan or the Democratic People's Republic of Korea or North Korea. So that's clear. So now we go to pot 3, Philippines, Chinese Taipei, and Uzbekistan. Who will be the opponents of the Indian national team? So Shongita is going to do pot 3. It's the Philippines. Yes, avoided Philippines. So it's between Chinese Taipei and Uzbekistan. So it's already a mixture. It can't be the toughest. It can't. It wasn't clear. It's clear we won't get the easiest, but it also we won't get the toughest now. So now we have to see where Philippines turns up in Group A. Is it A2 or A4? A2 would mean opener versus Australia. It's A4. Sorry. No, sorry. A4 means the opener. Sorry. What am I saying? Yeah, Australia would be A4, would be facing A4. Now, who's going to be in Group B? That will decide also who's going to be in Group C. Who is Shangita pulling out? Are you serious that YouTube is giving me an ad now? So Uzbekistan in B. So that means we will place Chinese Taipei. Yes, it is Chinese Taipei for us. Angry Birds, you're right. Come on, AFC, we consider towards this time. They will not be, they can't be Simon. And Uzbekistan will be B4. Okay, interesting. So Uzbekistan will play the opener in Group B, whoever that will be. No, they won't. They'll be playing the second game in Western Sydney, if I see that right. But I think the match timings might change. Interesting will be Chinese Taipei. So if Chinese Taipei is C2, then we play them in the opening game. And if they're C4, then we play someone else. So now it's interesting. Is it C2 or C4? It's C4. So India will be playing someone from pot 2 in the opener. Okay, now we got chance. We've played against them. I like this up until now. Okay. How's Iran? They drew against us. in the opener of the 22 Asian Cup. Iran is better than they were in 2022. I think that's a game we should have won, and let's see. Chinese Taipei was in Group A alongside India and AFC Women's Asian Cup 2022. Very, very right. And can India survive this group? Murray, let's see. We just gone halfway. And because I avoided Philippines, got Chinese Taipei, I actually thought Uzbekistan would be tough. I think Uzbekistan was the easiest of the lot. Chinese Taipei also picking up a lot of players from US colleges and stuff. So therefore, I don't know if they are really so therefore for me, not an easy one to play, to face. So therefore for me, some of the best players play also in China. So therefore, not the easiest of the lot. Now we move to pot 2, China, Korea Republic, South Korea, and Vietnam. And let's see who we get or who we avoid. Again, the question is about who do we avoid. Not yet, Hannibal. But we're avoiding South Korea. So it's between Vietnam and China. It could be crazy if we get Chinese Taipei, China, and North Korea in our group, but let's see. Hannibal, we're not cooked. Everything's still possible. It's going to decide. Is it Vietnam? Is it China? Is it Vietnam? Is it China? Is it Vietnam? Is it China? It is luckily China. So we are not facing China or South Korea from pot 2. So we get Vietnam. We'd have to reach the semifinals of the Asian Cup to guarantee us a place in World Cup. Yes. Yes, says X, Vietnam for us. Yeah. So India to face Vietnam in the opener in Perth. So yeah, on the 4th of March, India. Guys, don't get carried away. Vietnam. Aish. Yes, agreed. Easiest team. And that's Australia. We can't. Ayush. Australia is the head of Group A. Bangladesh is absolutely cooked. Which is it? Would be great to see you back support and videos just like men in person next year. Let's see. No plans yet, but I would love to try. Who would you prefer? DPRK or Japan? I want DPRK for some memes. Actually, I'd take Japan rather than North Korea. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Both of them are technically so good. Yeah, so I don't know. I want DPR Korea any day over Japan, says XOZ. Oh, yeah, sorry. Anyways, we're going to lose to pot one teams. Yeah, so that's, I mean, again, carried away, keep your cool, breathe, everybody. Yeah, that's the reality. But so far, I would say, could have been worse. Chinese Taipei, Vietnam. So let's see. Do you think North Korea has some hidden gems, both in men's and women's? 100%. Simon says, calma, calma. Let's see. And it could have been much worse. Yeah. So Australia is A1. So Australia, South Korea, Iran, Philippines. Wow, that's a group. That is group. Group A is the group of death, I would say. That's a really, really, really good group. And now it's between Japan and North Korea. Who are we going to face? It's North Korea in Group B, and we're set to face Japan. Angry Birds knew it before. There was it. Not the worst. Not the worst. Not the best. Somewhere in between, I would say. And you think men's team once will face strong team, but we won't really face them. Playing against China would be interesting. No chance. No chance. Japan, decent group, says Hannibal, have won Women's World Cup. Yeah, they won it here in Germany. I remember I saw them in 2011. Japan, it is. Japan, Chinese Taipei, Vietnam, India. What do you think about our chances? We had none. We have none, I would say. We are cooked, or we're going to cook. We are cooked. Japan will thrash every team in its group. Yeah, Ankit. No, Japan. There goes our chance of qualifying for quarterfinals. Last time we played, we got thrashed like 8-0. Was hard luck. Japan, North Korea is worse than Japan, so I'm happy. Yes, there goes our goal difference. Man, I wanted DPR Korea. Can't get easier. It wasn't easier than this, then better to withdraw. How do you see gap between US women team compared to Europe, Asia? Murali, there is no gap. So sorry. India group a little bit easier. I don't think there's an easy group. There's a Grand Canyon in between, not a gap. Well, how I see in the group, I think it's decent. It was given. we would face difficult teams. Yeah, Blue. I mean, there was no chance that we will get an easy group. I don't know if anyone thought that. So therefore, we are in a group which we'll have to navigate. But you know, for me, as I say, it was clear that we would face tough competition, and this is the tough competition that we're going to get. And now we have to figure out and see how we survive this group in some sort of way that we get that third spot. And that's going to be the question. Huh? I think that's going to be the question now. Can we somehow do it, or can't we? We good exposure for girls facing. Of course, Murali, that's the thing. World Cup qualification scenario. Raj, we have to finish third in the group and get into the quarters. Be one of the best second place teams. That's the way we have to go. And that's the challenge. We hold Japan to 4-5 goals somehow and try to win against China. So maybe draw against Vietnam. 4 points easier said than done. I mean, XYZ, this is... Do you think AFC 2022 better compared to present group, or is this group is difficult? It was easier because we were in pot 1 at the time. Huh? Are we underestimating Bangladesh? Yes, Simon, we are, because they've been beating us regularly at SAF level. We got an easy group compared to others. Yeah, could be said that way. The unknown could be also said that because we are the weak one. No? The other groups look stronger. Still better than getting China. If we had them, that would end there. Yeah, potentially. Japan is technically good, but deeper. Korea physically and technically monstrous. Both of them are. When will the tournament will start? 1st of March next year. Bangladesh got harder group than us. I think they did, but I think if you ask me, toughest group is Group A: Australia, South Korea, Iran, Philippines. That's the group. Leaving Japan, we got chances against teams we wanted. Do you think we've got chances against Vietnam and Chinese Taipei? That's my question. Because Vietnam is also a team which will have players of origin in it. So you know, so therefore for me, it was tough for us anyway. I'm very happy we're there. And now we'll have to see what we can do. So for me, Chinese Taipei is a typical football playing East Asian nation. To me, tough competition, in my opinion. Again, it was very clear to me from the onset that whoever we face will be tough. But you know, yeah, that's the point. We have to keep in mind when we're talking about this, and then we'll have to see if our girls believe we might pull off a Thailand. It was like, I hope you're right, but you know, Bangladesh will soon getting their origin women's players. Raj, that's also a point. Let's see if they can, you know, that will be very interesting to see what Bangladesh do. Chinese Taipei is tough, but not unbeatable. Yeah, I hope so. Do you think the structure that opponents got by far better than? That's why in big events we get knocked off. Yeah, draw against Vietnam and win against Chinese Taipei, says Hannibal. How this tournament would impact our ranking? Raj, it depends on the results. This is the second biggest competition that we can play in after a FIFA World Cup. So therefore, there are more points to be gotten from this, and yeah, and therefore for me, it's a reality that we are in, and let's see what we can do. Yeah, that's the challenge now. No? That's the challenge for us, and very interesting to see how we get ourselves out of this, and how good we can sort of play in this, and very interesting to see, right? So for me, it's a challenge, and therefore, yeah, very interesting to see if and how how we can get there. And will not be easy, but if we look at the groups, yeah, it could have been worse. 1 second, let me just put the group out. 1 second, let me put the group in. Just get that thing. Just 1 second, just give me a second. Let me just get the group document across and upload it here. Where is the document? Where is the document? There is the document. 1 second. Here it is. Voila. So here once more, before we continue discussions, here's once more to show you the groups, the draw for the AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 in Australia. Group A contains Australia, South Korea, Iran, Philippines. B got North Korea, China, Bangladesh, Uzbekistan. And Group C has Japan, Vietnam, India, and Chinese Taipei. Yeah, that's the groups. Metaphor is, oh my God, just today we got ourselves the toughest team. Yeah, Japan, I agree. I believe the last time we played Chinese, we lost 1-0. Yes, we did. Your thoughts on Japan? Way too strong. Japan in a way is a good test for India. Anyway, we're going to lose to any pot 1 team. Yeah. We basically need 4 points, but will it be very, very tough? And if we don't be careful, it can end up with 0 points too, all depending on the girls now. Blue, that's the point, right? We, like with the men's, we were dreaming about how can we get the points. And on the other side, we forgot, oh, you know what? There is an opponent who will want to, score goals against us. And therefore, we need to be careful. And therefore, it was clear to me that the draw would be tough. The draw is a mixture of tough and could have been, on one side, yes, it's tough, but on the other side, could have been worse, I would say, is my summary of the draw. And therefore, I take this and rather take this than, it could have been worse. Your thoughts on Japan match, Marley? I lose as low as possible, I think, would be my thought. To have a foreign coach, no, Raj, they don't. Won't be easy, says Chetan. Oh, Japan women defeated Spain, going to be deep fried. Angry Birds, Japan is a former FIFA World Cup champion. They always are a team to play in the World Cup. Do you think we should appoint a new coach, maybe an experienced foreign one? I said that in one of my videos after the qualification, that at least think about bringing in someone as a mentor at least. So therefore, yeah, I think we need to think about what makes sense for us. And in my opinion, it should be something that we need to think of. If you want to get to World Cup, we should fight better here. Of course, the group is tough, but the World Cup will be tougher. Navneet, yeah. Even if we get 3 points, it won't be enough because of our goal difference. Got to get 4 points or good goal differences. XYZ. Do I have money to appoint? That's a question. Hi, Rachid. Welcome back. Yeah, Japan defeated Spain. We are deep fried, says XYZ. Must be satisfied with the draws. Rachid, it could have been a little better. It could have been a lot worse. So therefore, from that, it is a mixed bag. We got Vietnam, which is the weakest. It was the weakest in pot 2. We got Japan, which was the strongest in pot 1. And Chinese Taipei, who's in the middle. So therefore, we are in the middle of what we could have gotten, and therefore, for me, again, could have been a little easier here or there, could have been a lot tougher here or there, and I take it. True draws and a heavy loss is my predicted results. Again, it's my opinion. Simon, let's see. I think Vietnam as a pot 2 is easiest. Yeah, Debu, they are. We have to be very aggressive. Big chance against Vietnam and Chinese Taipei cannot be sitting ducks and think we're here just for vibes or participation. Cannot think that mindset. Okay. Today seems to be a really good day. Harry Bhai, today's morning video making it to top 100 type videos in YouTube world and now getting Vietnam, says Rachid. Oh wait, Supreme Court is here to ruin our chances. Hope so, says Simon. Oh now, please give your opinion on Cup in Spain youth tournament. Yeah, I'm not a fan of all these tournaments. Play rather friendlies than these tournaments. However, I think Uzbekistan is stronger than Chinese Taipei. That's your opinion, not mine. Hope we do well, says Rachit. We have advantage if we get 3 points because China and South Korea will rattle the goal difference of third place team in the other groups. Well, we won't get rattled by them, only we need to concede less against Japan, says Harry. Hope we get out of FIFA ban ASAP, says Raj. They have to face two top teams while we only have to face one, so less goal difference, depletion. I love these, but beating Thailand were technically better than Vietnam may give us some hope fingers. Is Thailand technically better than Vietnam? Where did you pick that up? I don't know, Simon. To me, yeah, all these teams are better than us. So therefore, we have to be realistic of where we stand, and we need at least one exceptional day to pull off something, maybe against Chinese Taipei, and need another good day or even more exceptional day against Vietnam to pull off something, and hope, So let's see. When did it happen? Oh, no, it didn't happen. It could happen the second Supreme Court announces the new constitution. After all, it's all about hope, and hope. Exactly, Simon. Therefore, I'm very, very careful. I am very careful with this hope factor, where I say, I wish we could get something, but I'm not getting carried away. So therefore, let's see what happens. We're playing Vietnam on the 4th. So we open against Vietnam. Then we play Japan. And then we play Chinese Taipei. And that is, for me, not ideal. I would have liked to have played Chinese Taipei, then played Vietnam, and then played Japan in the way we built up in the qualifiers. We played the weakest team, and then we played teams which got stronger. And therefore, for me, and to me, yeah, let's not think too much at the moment. We should just keep on supporting the girls. That's it. I don't want to think much after that. Blue, very right. It's too much of thinking. There's too much of talk about the World Cup, this and that and everything. Listen, the World Cup is very, very far away. And also this talk, we're the closer we are. No, we in 2022, we were closer than this. So therefore, and again, on a good day, yeah, maybe an upset, some sort in a bad tournament, we will most probably be with 0 goals, and I don't know how many goals we've conceded. And therefore, for me, I'm happy. I'm very happy we're there. Let this sink in, this group. It doesn't look easy to me. And then let's see. Yes, Japan should have been the last game. Everything depends if we have a good day or bad one, but draws are ideal for us, not saying the fixture sequence, but the teams we face. Okay, Harry. Indian football is only about hope, just hope. Raj, yeah. And maybe if we have a great day against Vietnam, maybe when we might get some motivation against Japan to do some good defending. Who knows? No, sir. I thought Thailand were regulars in the Asian Cup and Vietnam recently developed into a good team. So again, maybe I might wrong. Thailand were regulars, but Thailand didn't play their best origin players in the tournament. So therefore, let's see. Also, 22, we didn't play for COVID. Will this time FIFA ban come? Blue, it's a real danger. It's a real danger for Indian football at the moment that a FIFA ban might come. And if that comes, we, none of us will be able to defend it. And that's my concern at the moment, where we stand. I hope it doesn't. I wish and I hope it doesn't happen, and that the Supreme Court takes the right decision. And again, the league with the men's, all of that. So therefore, yeah, let's hope it doesn't happen. So, but Group C, Japan, Vietnam, Chinese Taipei, could have been worse. As I say, no, Japan is the toughest. We could have gotten China. We could have gotten Philippines. So from that perspective, yeah. And if I look at the 3 groups, I feel Group A is the toughest, and yeah, Australia, South Korea, Iran, Philippines, they are the team most probably who could maybe cause the upsets in that group. Even Group B, North Korea, China, Bangladesh, Uzbekistan, that's also one. Yeah. So therefore, yeah. We also had Chinese Taipei in 2022 group. We faced Iran then before the Chinese Taipei victory need to pull out due to COVID. Yes, Harry, that was the case. Imagine qualifying 2 Asian Cups and not even playing one game. We played a game against Iran XYZ in 2022. Or Vietnam have origin players too, then I happily take back my opinion, says Simon. Yeah, they are bringing in origin players. It's so sad that Shinga Butler being there and people of India, even the Bengals, they don't care. Pathetic. It was just people would be jumping at the moment. Blue, it is. I spoke about it yesterday. I found it. There is a lobby in India, which I feel works against the interest. So therefore, for me, we need to keep the Indian football flag flying. We need to push for Indian football to get its visibility, and and then see what we can do, right? So therefore, for me, it's very, 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 very important. Hi Kunal, welcome. As a neutral, Group A is the most interesting. Yes, Group A. I agree with you, Blue. That's the most interesting of the groups, and in my opinion, it's an insane one, right? It's an insane one if I look at it, and therefore for me, I hope so therefore we'll have to wait and see that Group A. Australia, not an easy one, not an easy one. Simon also says Group A. I think हम इस ग्रुप में थर्ड तो आ ही जाएंगे. Kunal, do you really think so? So therefore, yeah. क्या हम एक न्यू कोच लाना चाहिए? Kunal, it's a good question. So therefore, for me, it's something to think about for the AIFF to consider. Well, that's your opinion, or not. Let's not make assumptions about lobby is very dangerous stuff to say. No, it's not. Because I'm not making assumptions. It's not my opinion. See, that's the difference between you and me. Maybe there is how Kabaddi hockey get more coverage despite they aren't even getting any eyeballs. There's something for sure, yeah. I hope AIFF look at women's team and provide the best for them. Raj, I hope so as well. Samantha Kerr is one Aussie I know from the Australian national team. Yeah. And Simon, do you know that Samantha Kerr has an Indian link? She's Indian origin, right? So that's also an interesting one to know. I'm sure all the top teams will thrash the bottom two in the groups. Majority of things depend on third, fourth against themselves. And in our case, it's a three-way, two, third, fourth. That is what we're thinking at the moment, Harry. That is see, that's the point that I'm not convinced fully that Vietnam is the one to be taken lightly, right? So therefore, I am not sure if we are, if Vietnam is really the one to think about, right? If we look at the qualifiers, they won 7-0 against Maldives, 6-0 against the UAE, 4-0 against Guam, and before that, played here in Germany. Sorry, played in Hanoi against Werder Bremen, losing 4-1. They only lost 2-0 to China last year, beat Uzbekistan 2-0, won in hybrid friendlies against two Czech teams, Viktoria Pilsen and Pardubice, lost against RB Leipzig 2-0, German women's Bundesliga team. So they're not bad. They play the ASEAN Championship now against Cambodia, Indonesia, and Thailand next month. Tough one. Samantha is half Indian. Damn, yeah. Simon, I don't know how evidence-based approach is needed to make allegation. You said it yourself. Yeah, and I have evidence. But I'm not going to put it in a public domain. XYZ, don't try and get into discussion with me. On a serious note, don't try it. Very few people have survived this in the world in regard to getting a discussion with me. If not a draw, at least we're advantage from Vietnam due to the goal difference thing rather than Korea or China, I guess. Harry, this is theoretical thinking. And the learning is in football. Football is not chess, right? So therefore, for me, these theoretical thinkings are nice. Reality is different. Believe me or not, we're the worst team on paper here in this tournament. Yeah, Simon, that's all. Did we play Vietnam before? Yes, Blue, we have played. What's your opinion on seven-a-side matches without offsides at U15 level? Can it determine a team's potential as teams send first team in mid-cup? Up seven-a-side matches at U15 level, 40-minute matches have no value. These, as I said, these tournaments are nice to play to get a little bit of exposure, but it doesn't show quality. Rather go on a trip, play friendly matches, 11-a-side properly. Yeah. The Aussies are more physical, stronger than others. Yeah, but the physicality is if that's your logic, then Japan and Korea, even in the men's game, wouldn't be as successful as they have been over the years because they're not physically the best, right? But they are good with their football skills, with their football basics. Height is a factor, surely, in the women's game, especially. I think we see with goalkeepers, which is something which I've not understood why it's not been used more. But for us, yeah, it's something which is there, right? So therefore, let's wait and see. Will we give good opponents in friendlies? No, I have no clue. It will be interesting to see what the AIFF does, but as far as I know at the moment, I've not heard anything so far. So we will, we will do that. Right. Okay. Quick reminder, those of you who are watching, if you haven't, leave a like behind, share with others as well. And if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Watch the short videos. Did something today on the GAFA Nations Cup and India's likely participation. Yesterday, of course, on the who could we face, and then last few days, of course, on the national team coach, a lot of things. So do watch those things, and yeah, I'll be looking forward to March next year. As fans, we should know, maybe we can put some pressure, social media pressure works and everything, strategy, what the fans want with Asian Games, saga, etc. XYZ. The Asian Games saga to me is a perfect example where the fans had no clue and created more problems than they helped. But again, please go ahead, put media pressure, social media pressure on the AIFF. Don't tell me the fans know better, this and that, everything. The Asian Games was a disaster, start to finish, starting with the fans, continuing with the government, continuing with the AIFF, and continuing with Mr. Steamers. So therefore, Inter also a very physical team. Look at what PSC did to them in the Champions League final, which is technicality. Exactly, Simon. So therefore, this physicality aspect doesn't count. Hi, Neil. Are we even weaker than Iran and Bangladesh on paper? I don't think so. What do you think? Bangladesh has been beating us on a regular basis. So is Bangladesh better than us? Bangladesh ranking is not as... They're better than us at the moment. They have been in the last few tournaments, right? And Iran, I think... yeah, I don't know. Have you thought of a session with Avika Singh, Raj? Yes, I have, but I've not been, yeah, let's see. Indian national team manager position, India rejected Pep Guardiola and Xavi. They never applied, so India couldn't have rejected them. So again, it's a whole tragedy. That story is such a tragedy, to say the least. What the AIFF has done, and what the media has done, it's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing, to say the least, of how that story has gone. Sadly to say, that is just sums up where we stand at this moment in time, what is happening, what should not be happening. Yeah, that's the reality, right? That's the reality, and we need to see where we take this. But coming back to the draw, as you can see over here, Australia, South Korea, Iran, Philippines in Group A, North Korea, China, Bangladesh and Uzbekistan in Group B, and Group C has Japan, Vietnam, India, and Chinese Taipei. Mixed draw for India because Japan is the strongest of the lot. Vietnam was the weakest in pot 2, so that's good. And Chinese Taipei was the middle team in pot C, so therefore I say we are sort of in the middle. We didn't get the toughest, we didn't get the easiest of the groups, and therefore let's wait and see how we take it forward. Yeah, Japan. I don't think we need to just talk about it, and uh, uh, so Chinese Taipei is the team that we need to target, but we open against Vietnam, so the first game could be crucial in how the tournament goes. Will be very interesting to see. Pep, after listening to AIFF rejections, decided to take a 15-year break from managing. Yeah. When the topic is about appointing a coach, I don't know how people found Igor was a good coach, Raj. On discussion. Referring to Pep hinting at a 15-year break comment by Pep. XYZ, see how he talks, right? He says he wants to take a break, maybe 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 years. It's just talk. If Pep takes a 15-year break, what does it mean? Pep Guardiola is going to retire. Yeah. So therefore, yeah, he has achieved what he can achieve with Barca. He has achieved it with Man City. Has had success with Bayern. What more do you want? For us, any combination of group would have been tougher one. We need to just focus on match by match and give our best efforts. Shumit, yeah, again, it's a mix. As I say, it's a mix, and so therefore, and again, a draw is something which you can't influence. So in that way, we would have to play anyone and everyone who comes in front of us. It doesn't matter. Therefore, yeah, we'll have to face Japan. We will now have to face Vietnam and then Chinese Taipei. And if we somehow make it to the quarters, then the dream of the World Cup continues. But as I say, I don't go with any expectations. I just go with hope. Because if I have expectations, those expectations can be disappointed. So therefore, I don't go with expectations. Very bold of you for maintaining high standards for a country celebrating mediocrity. Simon, I don't need to go down to that level because I have my own standards and I know my standards are higher than those Indian standards. And it is for me to try and maintain that and try and keep that because I feel that's very, very important, right? So for me, I have my standards. Try and stay on that level. Or don't, and then we'll see. That's the most important thing for me, or I think generally for us to try and make it understand. But just gone mad. He made a dance video from an official page with Dana Cup of all things. Yeah. Even Chavez gone underground after hearing the news. Yeah, it's better that he did. How Indian PR team AIFF can be so naive, made fool out of Indians and global stage Indians living abroad, are made fun of this AIFF blunder. Welcome, Neil. Welcome to my club. Right? It is. Because in India people think we are this, we are that, whatever. So therefore, it is none, and therefore, it's just embarrassing. I mean, I met Spaniards on Saturday at the Schalke Sevilla game. It's just embarrassing. This topic to talk about, it's just embarrassing, nothing more. People think their standards are high until they meet someone with bigger standards. Yeah, XYZ, but I've not met people with higher standards in regard to Indian football in the last 27 years. So I would love to meet someone with higher standards, and then I would try and push my standards even higher, but not possible. No? Exactly, even at 2 million plus pages posting about Messiah. We got the easiest group possible. Only exception is Japan. It's not the easiest group possible. Multiverse. I mean, if you're already making exceptions, then you know already that you can't get the easiest group. The easiest group is Australia, Vietnam, and Uzbekistan to me. So therefore for me, but yeah, it is to me is every group would have been tough for us. We need to recognize what our standard is. We need to work on our weaknesses. We need to work on everything possible, and then hope some or the other we can pull off something. So therefore, for me, we've done exceptional to get to this tournament, right? Beating Thailand in Thailand is a massive achievement for us. But this level we're playing, we were playing at this level or this level, I don't know, and now we have to go, I don't know, this, I can't even show you on the screen. That's the level we're going to face. This is, and therefore, let's see. Like Aditya, no respect for even meeting. Thanks, Simon. India fourth finish karega. Mohammed Adad, I hope not. And again, I have hope, but I'm not getting carried away. I'm not thinking about, you know what, I need to finish amongst the two best third finish place teams and get into that quarterfinal and hope something can happen. Because you are going to face, if you get into the quarterfinals, let me think. Okay. So if we win, so if we finish third, we would face the winner of Group A, right? So Australia or Korea. If we by any chance finish second, we would face the winner of Group B, which is likely to be North Korea or China. So yeah. Good evening, sir. Saw the AFC Women's Asia Cup draw group is not very tough, but still very challenging to go to quarters. Team needs to good matches and more improvement. We can do it. Shanata, I hope so. But again, we can do it is, as I say, don't expect too much because we will be then disappointed. That is my only thing that I've been saying and continue to say. Let's stay humble. Let's wish for the best. Let's hope for the best. But it is a very, very tough thing. And and therefore, yeah, that's it. Is there a third place rule here? Yes. So to get into the quarters, the top two teams in each group get into the quarters, and 2 out of the 3 best third finishing teams get into the quarterfinals. Yeah. And so therefore, yeah, let's see what happens. So once again, the top 2 teams in each group make it to the quarters, and 2 out of the 3 third place teams also get there to fill up the respective slots. I thought Shubhata was a smart person living in reality. You praised him on how he should have known better, breaking it out like that, saying Chavez applied. Is this what happens when you join AIFF? No, XYZ, exactly not. I think Shubhata in the conversation with Marcus was naive. Maybe he did some name dropping or something. But my point still is that someone like Marcus, he could have checked. And then if he would have checked even with one person somewhere in Spain, that person would have told him, Xavi, India, no chance. So maintaining a good goal difference is required, but for us, it is a stretch. Simon, it's a stretch even to think that we finished third and looking at this group. Right? This is not the toughest, but it's also not the easiest. So already talking about third place finish is a stretch. That's why, yes, Mohammed Adad is right. Vietnam and Chinese Taipei is not easy team. Mujhe to lagta hai India fourth, yeah. And we have to start as fourth and we have to fight our way up. That's the whole point. And that's the challenge that now India has. And let's see what we can do it. The tragedy of Indian football is that fans are celebrating a group stage draw. We haven't played anything yet. We need to stay humble. We've won nothing. Neil perfectly said. So therefore, this is the reality, Neil. Right? We are talking about World Cups. We're talking about finishing third. We're talking about beating these teams. I mean, they're talking as if we're going to finish second in the group. Therefore, I'm very, very careful. I'm very, very careful because for us, this is a level which is way above our pay grade, I would normally say. So therefore, if we finish fourth, it would be the most normal thing. If we can finish better, great. Show the last person you would think will show such immaturity. No, why? Why XYZ? When you talk to a journalist, right, and then sometimes you tell him, right, I'm telling you, but don't write it or something. Those days are gone. Shubhata's learned it the hard way, right? If it came from Colin and his goons, it would be understandable. No. See, XYZ, do you know Shubhata? Do you know these people? Do you know any one of them personally? You have an opinion. You have a public opinion about these people, right? The public opinion. You and others have a public opinion about these people without knowing Shubhato, Kollan, this, that. You don't know these people personally, right? You've not dealt with them, right? So, have you dealt with Marcus? Do you know how Marcus operates? So therefore, it's easy to say that if you know these people, great. If you don't, again, what I've been saying in the last few days, everybody can have an opinion, everybody, right? And on social media, on this kind of a chat, everybody can mention their opinions. But if you don't know these people, you are judging these people by what they've said or what they've done. So you don't know them, right? That is the main problem. Even more than Shubhra, I was surprised that I am vigilant because he gave into a Blue. That was the shocker, of everything. This was the one from Shubhata was bad, right? No covering up for that. But I am vigilant saying, if he's interested, it doesn't make sense. Sir, can Indian women football team qualify in 2027 FIFA World Cup Brazil? Tipurasa vlog TV, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's very tough. Looks very tough in my opinion. But Bangladesh, very lucky. Uzbekistan and Bangladesh. No. Do you think Bangladesh will beat Uzbekistan? Mohammad Ahad? I don't think so. Right? But journalists are there to get spicy news, something unique out. Marcus at the end of the day also is to put out exclusive news. XYZ, has it helped him? This story has been the biggest biggest embarrassment of his journalistic career. So as a journalist, if you're a good journalist, you know what to put out, what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, right? Even Fabrizio Romano is being trolled for the Xavi story by fans, right? I know people who work in the business who are laughing about him because none of them did their homework. What is your basic 1.0 of journalism as someone who studied journalism is to cross-check if a story is right? Right? So exclusive news, yes, exclusive, yeah, great. It's not about exclusive, it's about what is right and what is wrong. And this is, yeah. So what's the value of being spicy? And if you're a good journalist, you would have questioned it yourself. Yeah. So on our best day with luck, it's beatable. 2 teams we got, yes. It will be upset if we concede less than 6, 7 goals, and so let's have for the best. Vishwajit, I agree. No, Kalyan I haven't met him. No, that is not what I'm saying. But you guys have opinions about people without knowing those people. Right? And yeah, you actually don't know Kalyan. This way or that way, you don't know him. That's a fact, right? Hi Vikram, I'm good. Good draw for me. We have to play good football. Soon win. Also, if we can't win against them, we don't deserve to go forward because next part will be more difficult. Vikram, yeah. Let's see. Bangladesh will be banging their heads. It was clear. Uzbekistan team is physically good, says Dark Knight. Marcus's reputation got down the drains after that. Yeah, Blues. Yeah. So that's the point. The spicy news and your breaking news, no. You have to know what to write or not to write, or what to tweet or not to tweet. It all backfired. Even It's a remark of all people got his reputation. He's been getting his reputation smacked left, right, and center over the summer. Do you know this Pep, I wonder, was the news in mainstream media in India, or it was just not highlighted? It was highlighted massively. Massively, not Neil. I said this yesterday, this is the biggest news that was highlighted in India in the year 2025. More than anything, even the draw today, minimal to no coverage. So that's the reality of where we are in. Gabe would say not another blue team. I don't think so. The problem is nobody checked the news. Everybody had trust on Marcus. His news had credibility. Yeah, but even Marcus didn't check it himself. That's my whole point. Subrata can say, this guy, that guy, whatever. He could have said, oh, you know what, Pep, Klopp, Mourinho, all of them applied. Then the job of Marcus would have been to check if these guys have actually applied. And the second PR blunder is the AIFF when they put out we had hoax applications, and besides Xavi, we also had Pep applying. Why put out a name? Just say that we had hoax application. Bas ho gaya, khatam. That is how you handle these things. The only logical thing to do in Xavi's episode was to first verify and validate before putting out in media. Exactly, Shumit. That's my point. I fear Japan. They have the ability to score in double digit. Yeah, that might. I've said this before. I mean, Urawa Red Diamonds ladies, Odisha FC, 17-0. So that is the kind of competition level we will be facing. Yeah, Fabrizio Romano doing stories on Yamal life, me missing out on general football news. There isn't much. These guys have created so much hype in regard to the transfer market, and if the transfer market doesn't give you any hype every day, and again in an Indian context, there is no transfer market because there is no league. People are desperate, and then look at the under every post, someone is transfer this club, that club, whatever club. There is no transfer news because we don't have a league at this moment in time. For me, at least, who questioned Stephen and one Indian coach should see his interview on Food and Football Channel. He explained very well everything, what they can play and can't play. Yeah, Stephen knows. Vikram, Stephen has known from the time he first came to India what happens, what doesn't happen. He understands the system very, very well. So it's a question of, what are we going to do to we need short-term solutions. I don't need a long-term solution. And therefore, yeah, let's wait and see where this whole thing takes us. People wanted to gossip and did blunder. Blue, they all wanted to be part of the big football world, and they're not. And this is the sad part, right? I've always said, right, if you want, clickbait and rage bait is real in 2025. So yeah, that is what has been promoted on social media, right? That's what gets you the most views. I see that, no? If I see the stories that I've done in the last few days, what has gotten views, what has not gotten views, then I know that good quality stuff doesn't get views. My interview with Desi Ballers, 37 minutes, 33 minutes of an interview, and that's got the least views over the last few days. So that's the reality of things now. So yeah, what are we gonna talk about? Marcus should have known Xavi declined a 15 million offer. Why would he apply for India job? It's an open application. Anyone could apply. He should have intuition. Why would he? That is my whole point. That is the point. Shubruto can say a lot of things a long day long, or whoever is in the AIFF. The homework needs to be done by the journalist. And the worst, as Blue said, the worst was the I Am Vision statement saying, hey, listen, we are considering Xavi. If the application is real, we'll make it happen. We'll find the money. But still, without league, Indian football is funny like today's Blue. Who said, who said it yesterday? No? I think Yuvraj said it. No? There's no dull day or dry day in Indian football, right? They thought Xavi news would help them, but it backfired. Raj, I don't think it would have helped them. I think that is it. This is we're thinking again very, very complex and all. I don't think that was the idea and thought process behind it. I think that the whole thing, after Marcus had put out the tweet and put out the Times of India story, the whole thing had its own life, and it backfired. From 2019 till date, we're totally flopped. We can't play short passes, can't play Spanish type football. Our people can't say they don't see Steven last time we played our best football. Yeah, become very true. The problem in this whole discussion is that when Steven was here and when he left and Igor Stimac came in, Igor said, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I think what we had to realize also in 2019, the good performances against Oman and Qatar were the job of Steven Constantine. It was not the job of Igor Stimac. COVID came, and after that, it was downhill. And we fooled ourselves in 2023 with those 3 tournament victories. I saw the semis and the finals of the SAF Championship. Listen, we won on penalties, and we just held on. So, realities. But I don't know, keep making those videos. We need those over live streams. I will do that, but XYZ, I need people to watch them. Otherwise, I feel is why am I doing it? Again, I love to do that interview with Zoeb in London, outside of the London Stadium, right? Yeah, it was an effort because he took time off to come and meet me and stand there and do the interview. But then if people don't watch it, that's the problem. That's then why do it, right? Why make the effort? Even Vijayan gave statement after Steamach contract extension. Does technical committee doesn't know anything what's happening here? No, they don't. Raj, your question answers in itself. No, if these guys knew what they were doing, they wouldn't have appointed Manolo. Simple thing. Last year, maybe they wanted to hire this coach fiasco. Coaches leaving national team and AIFF wanted to show that good coaches are still interested. No, they don't. See, again, you're talking. You're making it too complex. To me, it is not. Subhato made a statement, and this, that. There is no plan, sinister plan behind it that some people think about it. Yeah. What's the positive to with Steven Weather football? I don't know which one he means. We do watch and keep doing videos. Thanks, Deepesh. I need your support. That's what I'm saying, guys. Do watch the videos. I try and make something daily basis, which is a little bit of insight on things, maybe my thought process, why I think about certain things a certain way, or certain things I think should be going this way, that way. Do watch them, right? Because some of the best ones have gotten the least views. So that's the sad part, right? Where I put a little effort, but again, I will do it. I will try. I've done this. I'm going to do it on this channel. And therefore, I need your support. You guys need to support it. Otherwise, it's not happening. So yeah, that's the reality. So keep supporting, like, share, and subscribe. As I like to say, I slowly come to an end. And M says, if Steven is not hired, I will stop watching Indian football. Because for me, Peter Sigurd was also a good option. It's true he won SAF with Maldives man who helped win Maldives. In our West Ham, we still beat Maldives, so he's also a good option. Yeah, Vikram, but he has no India experience. So therefore, I said, I want someone with India experience. For me, it was between Steven and Habas. Even Khalid doesn't come into the picture. Stefan Tarkovic doesn't come into the picture. Peter Sigurd comes in if it's a new phase. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Right, I come to an end of this live watch-along of the Women's Asian Cup 2026 group stage draw. India are set to face Japan, Vietnam, Chinese Taipei in Group C. And I'll be back tonight with a regular live at 9:45. Let's discuss this and other things. Hopefully by then the CAFA participation of the men's team is confirmed. It's still, as far as I know at this moment, it's not confirmed 100%. And like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot, keep on supporting Indian football, and I'll catch you tonight later on. Bye, everyone.